Hi, it's V with Crafting Daily Dose. Thanks so much for stopping by. This is the card that I'm sharing today. It's got this fun wobbler action. Now, there are wobblers that you can buy, but this is so quick and easy to make, and it's customizable to the size that you need. And also, it's a lot more compressible and not as bulky when you go to mail your card. So I hope that you will try to make one with me. The products that I'm using today are the Darling Donkeys stamp set and the Flower and Field Designer Series paper. Both of these are available starting January 5th through February as part of Stampin' Up's Sale-a-bration, which is a gift with purchase promotion, and these are both available at the $50 level. The Darling Donkeys stamp set is a rubber stamp set that has 3 donkey images and several sentiments. I've made another card with this stamp set, and I'll link to that below. The Flower and Field is a set of 12 papers that are 12 by 12, and they are double-sided. Here's a look at the back sides. I'm choosing to use this paper, and so to coordinate with that, we'll be using Rococo Rose cardstock and black cardstock, and I'm also going to be using 28 gauge jewelry wire. If you're not familiar with the sizing in wire, the higher the number, the thinner it is, and I probably wouldn't go any thinner than 28, but you could probably go down to 26 or maybe even 24. This is thin enough that you can just cut with regular scissors if you don't have a wire cutter, but don't use your good snips for that. Use a spare pair of scissors instead. The mechanism that we're doing today is going to be a wobbler, which is basically just a spring, and it's pretty simple to make. You're going to need something round, like this pencil, and all you're going to do is wrap the wire around maybe like 3 or 4 times. Now, metal does have a memory, so if you wrap very loosely and your coils are far apart, gotta bring it up so you can see it better, that's not going to work very well, because once you remove that, it's going to be really hard to get those coils to compress down again and stay. You're going to end up with something that's too loose and floppy to work really well. So I can cut that off. This time we're going to wrap the coils a little closer together, and that's going to give you a better spring. So again, once I see about 3 or 4 coils, that's enough. I'll cut it off. Compress it a little bit, and you'll see that that is a better spring for our purposes. Now, to use your wobbler, you can either mount it directly onto the place on your card where you want it to be, or you can create a top and a base for it. So let's just practice first doing it directly. I'm just going to take a piece of tape. When we make our real card, we're going to use clear tape, but here I'm just using a piece of washi so you can see what I'm doing. Placing the tape down over this coil that's going to be the bottom coil. I'm going to put it sticky side down and then place that onto my card where I want it to go. And press that down. Then I'm going to take another piece that is now going to go underneath the top coil and sticky side up this time. And I'll press my image down directly onto that. Now, I didn't trim that to the right size just because we're doing a quick demonstration, but you can see how quickly that comes together. If you wanted a top and a base to your wobbler, you just need some circles. These are punched out from the retired half-inch punch, but it's basically the same process. So tape over what's going to be the bottom coil, sticky side down, press that onto the bottom circle. And then another piece of tape that is going under the top coil, sticky side up. And then press the top circle onto it. Press it down and fold over the excess tape. And if you wanted to, you can come back through with snips and trim that out, make that a little bit rounder. I have stamped and fussy cut out a donkey image. I'm going to quickly color up my donkey with Stampin' Right markers in Basic Gray, Smoky Slate, Petal Pink, and then just a plain paintbrush and some water. We're ready to start assembling the card. So here's that Rococo Rose cardstock that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored down the middle at 4 1/4 to give us the standard A2 card base. I have a panel of black cardstock that is 1/4 inch less all the way around. So this is going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I also have a piece of white cardstock that is the same dimensions, and this one's going to be used for the inside. Let's take our patterned paper and we are going to cut a piece that is 3.5 inches wide. So 3 1/2 is right here. Press that down and make sure that I'm using my cutting blade and not my scoring blade. And then I want it to be 6 inches in the other dimension. So 6 inches. So that means from that 3.5 inch strip, I could make 2 of the same kind of cards if I wanted to. We're going to take one of these and we're going to trim it down again. So putting the long side against the guide, we're going to trim at 3.5 inches. And then we're going to flip over our shorter side and just kind of take a look at it. We're going to pick an interesting shape to cut out of it with our snips. So I think I want to pretty much follow along this transition between the different kinds of flowers, and I can dip down a little bit here. And really, you can't go wrong with it. So whatever you choose to do, the paper is so pretty that it's going to look good anyway. And you'll see what this looks like when it's laid up against the flip side of the paper. I moved my trimmer out so I can start adhering these layers on. Just going to put some Stampin' Seal. And center that over my card base. Next, I'm going to take the striped pattern and I'm going to try to layer it so that there is an even margin between the sides and the top. And then finally the part that I fussy cut out. And once again, I'm trying to center it so that there's an even margin between the bottom and the sides, and it doesn't have to be exact. You're just kind of eyeballing it. Okay, we have a little bit of stamping to do next. I want to stamp the little asterisk design in basic gray right up in this corner up here. And then I want the donkey image down in this lower corner. I have a scrap piece of white cardstock and I'm going to stamp the sentiment onto that. And then we're going to fussy cut it and leave a little tail. I've adhered the white panel inside the card. I'm ready to put the donkey on the front. So here's one of the springs that I'd made earlier. Going to do just the same process as before, except now using clear tape. And I'm just going to put it directly onto the card. I want my donkey to look like he is dancing in a field of flowers. So I'm going to put him over here. Get another piece of clear tape. Put it under this coil. Place my donkey on top. Press him down. And finally, I'm going to adhere a little sentiment. This time I'm using multi-purpose liquid glue. And I think that I want that to go right about here. Ta-da! Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed a little dose of creativity with this project and that you'll join me the next time. Remember, these products will be available as free gifts with purchase beginning January 5th. Hope you have a great day.